UFC 316. How we doing, everybody? My name is Young Pasty, aka the White Boy Wonder, and I'm here today to give you a pick and a prediction for every single fight on the card. June and July are stacked with a bunch of great cards every single weekend, so super pumped. This is a good one to start it off. We have two championship fights, Merab versus O Malley 2, and Pena versus Kayla Harrison. I'm super excited to break down all of these fights for you guys. If you're new to the channel and you haven't, click that subscribe button. We are on the path to 300 subscribers, so your support will go a long way. Click the like button, throw a comment. You know how the algorithm works. Now, as we always do, guys, we have to recap last week. UFC Vegas 107. And this card was, a poop show. Let's just be honest, guys. First off, with the main event, Maycee Barber's literally walking out to the octagon and then just turns around, suddenly has some sort of seizure and cancels the main event. I don't know. It was crazy. Anyway, we go 5-4 on the picks. Some people had some letdowns. Some crazy underdogs came through. Billy Goff literally threw himself in a ghillie. Maycee Chiasson proved to everybody she's not contender worthy, in my opinion. Philo, great first round, but continually made too many mistakes in the second and third, which got him in bottom position and couldn't get back up. Ariane dos Santos just proved that she's just a little too small for this UFC division. Belagioki should have gotten the KO, but gets the win, hard fought win. Dustin Jacoby with a surprise KO, in my opinion. And then that Gamrot fight. Look, I know everybody was on the Ludovic Klein side. It was a popular underdog last week, but as I said, Gamrot showed there are levels to this UFC-ish, okay? Ludovic Klein hadn't fought a ranked opponent up until that point, so Maycee Gamrot comes through with the win. Anyway, 5-4 on the picks last week. Overall, 134 and 78. So, hey, it's a positive week. Honestly, I think we should have been 6-4. If Erin Blanchfield did fight Maycee Barber, she probably would have won there. But I can't count a fake win. So let's get to it here for UFC 316. Merab, Dvalishvili, and O Malley 2. Julianna Pena versus Kayla Harrison. Bunch of great cards bunch of great fights on the main card and the prelims. It's honestly a stacked card, guys. Let's get into it. All right, guys. First fight we're breaking down, the main event of the evening. We have Merab Dvalishvili, the Machine, versus Sean Sugar O'Malley. Current odds on the fight. Merab is a -305 favorite. Sean O'Malley can be had for +245. My pick for this fight is going to be Sugar Sean O'Malley, okay? Some, not a lot, some arguably said he could have potentially won his last fight, depending on the scoring there. He did find success in the 5th round, but let's just clear the air here, guys, okay? Sean O'Malley came out with a torn labrum in that last fight, okay? The fact that he even went 5 rounds with Merab is pretty impressive. And, won, in my opinion, arguably won a couple of those rounds too. So, I will give credit where it's due though, okay? Merab is called the Machine for a reason, okay? He has insane, amazing cardio. He is a pressure wrestler and grappler, okay? He's looking to hold you and take you down. He has great top control. His striking is actually pretty decent. His striking is actually pretty underrated. Recently just defended the belt versus Umar. He was counted out in these last few fights here as an underdog. Now you see him as a 3-1 favorite. But he can get hit and rocked, okay? I think he has a toe injury. So that's something to consider given his crazy, relentless pressure style. But, whether or not he's injured or not, he's going to keep going and going and going. It's just, is he going to bring the same exact game plan he does in every single fight? Like, you think Sugar Sean O'Malley is going to do the same exact thing he did in the last fight, I would think and hope Merab comes with a different game plan, but I don't think he's going to, dude. I think he's just going to do the same Merab style that he does. He's going to put his best effort in, his best foot forward. But I think it would favor him if he switches it up and does some sort of different kind of game plan here. On the other hand, Sugar Sean, we know him, okay? He's a sniper. He has KO power. He has great kicks. He has great distance management. Can he hold the distance versus Merab? You know? I think for the first few rounds, Merab's going to have a lot of energy and close the distance pretty easy. But as the fight goes on, I think Sean O'Malley is going to build, and build. He's going to be able to defend these takedowns. Like, you think after all this time off, he hasn't fought anybody else. This is his direct rematch for the title, right? Gone off social media. He's focused, guys. I think Sean O'Malley's focused. Obviously, he's probably working on takedown defense. He's probably working on his get-up game. You know, he's probably working on all of these things that were his downfall in his last fight. So, I think Sean O'Malley's focused. I think he has a lot more power in his shots than Merab does. I think he's going to deal a lot more damage than Merab does. I think Sugar Sean O'Malley gets this done by decision. 5 inches taller, 4-inch reach advantage. These guys both train out of pretty good gyms. So I think Sean O'Malley can find success with kicks. He really needs to mix those in more. Along with his little combos and his sniper shot, which can come at any point, right? If Merab does get rocked, I think it's not going to be to the point where he's unmovable or unconscious. I think he's still going to be there. He might just end up on the ground. Sean O'Malley maybe tell him to get back up and then get punched again. So yeah, I got Sean O'Malley with a hard fought 5-round decision. So what do the people on Tapology have to say? All right, 80% of people are picking Merab on Tapology. 20% of people are picking Sugar Sean O'Malley. The people picking Merab are saying by decision. The people picking O'Malley are saying KO. Honestly, I think Merab's got a pretty decent chin, great cardio. I don't think Sean O'Malley finds the exact shot. I think he wins a 5-round decision. So, Sean O'Malley by decision is my pick for the main event, the underdog. And we move on to the next one. Our co-main event of the evening, another championship bout. We have Julianna Pena, the Venezuelan vixen, versus Kayla Harrison. Odds on the fight: Pena, the defending champ, is a plus 455 underdog. Kayla Harrison, minus 625, the favorite. My pick for this fight is going to be Kayla Harrison. She has a clear path to victory here, okay? Just copy the same exact game plan that Amanda Nunes did in the second fight versus Julianna Pena. Okay, the UFC wants Kayla to win. Amanda Nunes already said she's going to come out of retirement, but only if Kayla Harrison wins. Like, she's not going to fight Julianna Pena again. So what do you think is going to happen? Okay, all the odds are stacked against Julianna Pena, and they were in previous situations, and she showed and came through and is the champ. Beat 2 people to become the champ. Okay, so now the last split decision win against my girl Raquel Pennington. I don't know about that. I side with Rocky on that one there, but she pulled off the submission win over Amanda Nunes the first time. She broke her. And, Julianna Pena has that dog in her, but she's going up against an insane wrestling threat and grappling threat in Kayla Harrison, okay? She's an Olympic medalist. She has great judo. She's going to be a lot bigger than Julianna Pena. She is the much better grappler than her. Now, Julianna Pena does have, live submissions off the back and potentials, submissions here and there, but, Kayla Harrison been there, done that. She's no amateur to those kind of things. So Kayla Harrison is hittable at times, but so is Julianna Pena. Now, Julianna Pena, if she can keep this a standing fight, this is going to be her fight all day. But let's be honest here. Her takedown defense really not the best, right? Her get-up game has shown not to be very good against the elites. Kayla Harrison's one of the elites, man. Okay. Now, Everyone's gonna say, oh well, she didn't ragdoll Ketlen Vieira for 3 rounds, right? Well, not a lot of people are taking Ketlen Vieira down, to be honest with you. So, 5'8" to 5'6". Now, I know the stats, right, only show 2 inches taller and the reach is a little bit smaller. You'll see Kayla Harrison is going to be humongous, right, come fight time. So, her path to victory, don't stand and strike with Julianna Pena. Get this to the ground. Do your ground and pound. She has nice little blitzes on the feet, though. Okay, I'll give Kayla Harrison that. And she has, the better momentum, right? Riding 2 straight wins off of pretty solid competition in the UFC. Holly Holm, former champion, like Ketlen Vieira, right? And then her last loss versus Larissa Pacheco. Maybe she needed that, right? Maybe she needed that. It was a very close fight. I think she won 2 rounds out of the 5. So, if things could have swayed in the opposite way, 1 more round, she could have pulled off that victory there. But, she was a former champion PFL for a while. Dude, Kayla Harrison's on another level. I think she's going to get this done. I think Julianna Pena is tough, defensively sound. I think that she's, she has heart, right? I don't think she's going to get finished. So I got Kayla Harrison by decision. That's my pick. What do the people on Tapology got to say? All right, 90% of people are picking Kayla Harrison. 10% of people are picking Julianna Pena. It's a split on how Kayla Harrison will win according to everyone's predictions. 41% by decision, 44% by submission, 14% by KO. I think Pena's tough, right? I think that she is able to withstand all 5 rounds, and she's been there 5 rounds before, though, so if she could withstand 5 rounds to Amanda Nunes, I think she can do it with Kayla Harrison. Yeah, she got beat the heck up. If you guys saw it and you heard the scorecards, it was pretty bad on the Pena side. But, yeah, Kayla Harrison by decision. That's my pick. All right. Next fight. We have Kelvin Gastelum versus Joe Body Bags Pyfer. Current odds on the fight, Kelvin can be had for plus 300. Joe Pyfer is the minus 380 favorite. My pick for this fight is going to be Joe Pyfer. This fight was supposed to happen a few months ago back in Mexico City. Joe Pyfer ended up eating some bad food and could not fight the next day. So, we'll leave it at that. Had the poops, had some sickness. Nevertheless, he was really upset. He's not the type of guy to pull out of fights like that, so if he couldn't fight, I really do believe him. Obviously, the fight's rescheduled, and we're having it right here. So, now I picked him initially in my first prediction in Mexico City, and I pick him again here. Okay? He is bigger, younger, faster, stronger. Daft Punk. He has the better momentum. He trains with Sean Brady. Sean Brady beat Kelvin Gastelum, so he's going to give him all the tips and tricks in his fight that he had there. Now, Joe Pyfer is not really the grappler or, wrestler that Sean Brady is, right? And that was in a different weight class. That was at welterweight versus middleweight. And Kelvin Gastelum's known to be a cheater when it comes to the scales here and a big boy, you know what I mean? So, weigh-ins are always something to see here. And the question is how focused is he? You know what I mean? Is he going to get knocked out by Joe Pyfer? I think so, dude. Joe Pyfer got some nasty, serious power. He gets takedowns with ease if he needs them. He has really good striking. He can pour on the volume. Now, the downfall in his 5-round fight with Hermanson here was that it was a 5-round fight. This is a 3-round fight here. He won round 1 and 2 handedly, right? Lost round 3. So, that was a 3-round fight. He would have taken that all day. Kelvin Gastelum, he does have decent cardio. Okay, so he can go all 3 rounds with Joe Pyfer. This isn't a 5-round fight. But Kelvin Gastelum was just kind of living off of this, the shadow of his fight with Izzy. That was his biggest moment in his career where he ended up losing, This is prior to, this was years ago, more than 4 years ago here. So, Yes, he has more UFC experience and fought better competition. Joe Pyfer's, definitely not fighting the level of competition Kelvin Gastelum has. Kelvin Gastelum also lost to Hermanson as well, so something to consider too. Joe Pyfer's the better striker. Joe Pyfer has more power. I think he's going to pour on the volume. His striking is clean. He hits with intention, and he's quick too. He's very fast. Even though Kelvin Gastelum, again, like I said, he does have decent striking, and Joe Pyfer's the better striker in my opinion. One thing Kelvin never uses though is his wrestling. He actually does have pretty decent wrestling and grappling. I do imagine he's going to hold him up on the fence at some point, but like to take down Joe Pyfer, I don't think he's going to even try or attempt that. It's just like he hasn't done that in years or mixed that up really too often, so that's not something that I see Kelvin really doing. But yeah, I got Joe Pyfer by KO. Kelvin's going to get knocked out for the first time in his career here. Maybe the first round. Potentially the second. If it gets to the third round, Joe Pyfer is going to be, probably going to be heading to decision there. Again, Kelvin Gastelum's durable. He's very durable, but he's also very hittable. So it's like, how many times can you take the shot to the face before you end up falling down? So could be one of those like standing KOs where he's just not fighting back and he's just eating shots when they call the fight. Something like that. So yeah, I got Joe Pyfer, and I got Joe Pyfer by KO. Pretty confidently. I said it last time. I say it again. So, what do the people on Tapology have to say? 87% of people are picking Joe Pyfer. Most say by KO. 13% of people are picking Kelvin Gastelum. Most say by decision. So, man, I like Joe Pyfer, dude. He's a dog. He's tough. He has the insight from Sean Brady. Man, give me Joe Pyfer by KO. Moving on. All right, next fight on the card. We have Vicente Luque, the Silent Assassin, versus Kevin Holland, Trailblazer. Odds on the fight, we have plus 210 for Vicente and minus 258 for Kevin Holland. Wow. My pick for this fight is going to be Vicente Luque. I think people are sleeping on Vicente. Honestly, I still think he has enough in the tank to get this done. And I say that, and he's only 33 years old. Kevin Holland's 32. But it just seems like, in my head, like Vicente Luque's like older, right? And even though Kevin Holland's fighting like every 2-3 months, it just seems like Vicente Luque's like a little bit older. You know what I mean? I don't know. I will say Vicente Luque's probably fighting better competition. Look at his fights. Bilal, Jeff Neal, RDA, Joaquin Buckley, Temba. Kevin Holland's fighting Gunnar Nelson, RDR. Okay, I guess that's proven to be a tough fight in hindsight. Roman Dolidze, Michael Uluulu, Michael Benapage. Like, I think Vicente Luque is at least fighting better competition, but Kevin Holland, respect to Kevin Holland for being so dang active, but people sleep on Vicente Luque. He clubbed and subbed Temba Garimbo easy, and it's like, that was very recent. That was only 5 months ago, right? Like, he did it quick and easy. Like, it showed to me that the power's still there. Temba's a pretty decent fighter, right? And Kevin Holland has known to be chinny at times. I think Vicente Luque has the more dangerous submission threats than Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland does have submission threats, and they're there. But, like, is it going to be taking down Vicente Luque? I think if he does at any point, it'd have to be off of some sort of trip or something. But I think Vicente Luque has better takedowns and better entries and better ways to get Kevin Holland to the ground. Maybe it could be another club and sub kind of thing. Now, Kevin Holland will have the reach advantage and is much taller, 81 inches to 76 on the reach, 6'3 to 5'11. But it's not like Vicente Luque hasn't gone against people that are taller than him before, right? Kevin Holland has decent striking. His jiu-jitsu's okay. He's gotten submissions off the back before. For him, I think he should keep this fight standing, keep the distance, pick apart Vicente Luque if you're on the Kevin Holland side. But Minus 258 for Kevin Holland. They're showing him a lot of love, man. Vicente Luque is sitting at plus 210. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Now, Luque can be chinned at times. And I wish he would throw out a little more volume. But he's gritty. He's tough. He's nasty. I just, Kevin Holland, like, he's not really showing anybody improvements in his fights. And it's like, he kind of barely slid by in this win over Gunnar Nelson, in my opinion. And it's like, why are you having that type of fight with a Gunnar Nelson who was off of a long layoff and didn't look the best, So, in hindsight, or in retrospect, I think that Kevin Holland does have a pretty favorable matchup, in my opinion. But Vicente Luque is still ranked, right? Take out the journeyman, prove your rank here. I think Vicente Luque gets it done by submission here, guys. A club and sub kind of situation, just like last time. I think he finds a shot somewhere and gets Holland to the ground and ultimately finds his way to some sort of submission. So, Vicente Luque by submission is my call. And him to win the fight is my pick. So, what do the people on Tapology have to say? All right, a little closer than I thought. So, 66% of people are picking Kevin Holland. Most say by knockout. Some say by decision. 34% of people are picking Vicente Luque. 48% by submission. So, most people think Vicente Luque is going to submit Kevin Holland if they're picking him. So I agree. Killcliff FC, pretty good gym. I love my Brazilians. Again, respect to Kevin Holland for fighting so much. People are calling him out for just trying to click paychecks, and that could still be. I mean, it's part of the game, right? And the more you fight, the more you get paid. But I think Vicente Luque has got this. Prove your rank. You're ranked 13th. Keep the rank. Club and sub. I think he's still got it. People are counting him out, dude. Plus 210. Something to look at. But yeah, that's my pick for the fight. Vicente Luque. On to the next fight here. We have Mario Bautista versus Patchy No Love Mix. Odds on the fight, plus 145 for Mario Bautista, minus 175 for Patchy Mix. My pick for this fight is going to be Mario Bautista. Blech. I say because he's really not my favorite. But I think his takedown defense is good enough. I think his UFC experience and his wins are good enough. I think Patchy Mix is going to have a tough time fighting Mario Bautista. I think Mario Bautista has better striking than Patchy Mix. Now, if you guys don't know who Patchy Mix is, he's a Bellator guy. Okay? 1 year layoff, hasn't fought in a year, but was, fighting in Bellator and was known to be a very excellent grappler over there. His striking's okay, right? I think Mario Bautista has the edge in it, though, right? I think Mario Bautista has really good cardio, really good volume. He's gritty. He has this bouncy movement. He's knocked off 7 wins in a row, and I just favor UFC experience over Bellator experience. And again, coming off of a 1 year layoff, this is your first fight in the UFC. Mario Bautista is a tough task, man. Mario Bautista beat Jose Aldo, Ricky Simon, Damon Blackshear, Guido Canetti, not really anything to brag about. Benito Lopez, but he's finishing those guys who are, not really names, you know what I mean? But the Damon Blackshear win, aging very well. The Ricky Simon win, aging pretty good. Jose Aldo win, I mean, you're beating Jose Aldo, for gosh sakes. Even though it wasn't the best fight in the world, he still beat him, right? I just think Mario Bautista has more ways to win than Patchy. Mario Bautista can mix in, control on the fence. He can mix in his own takedowns if he chooses to. I don't think that's in his benefit, but he can, right? Really, I think he has the striking advantage. He can defend the takedowns. and not get taken down or get his back taken by Patchy Mix. Because Patchy Mix, dude, like I said, he's an elite grappler. He can snatch that back instantly. It's very good. His striking is okay, right? He also has 5-round experience. He has very good cardio himself. He has tons of submissions and is very crafty in that aspect there. Mario Bautista, I don't think his losses came by submission. I know he got knocked out at one point, just double checking here. Knocked out by Trevin Jones, and an armbar to Corey Sandhagen, who, I mean, we've all seen Corey Sandhagen at this point. Dude's going to be fighting for the title here soon, so. Yeah, again, I favor UFC experience over Bellator experience. It's not that I'm crapping on Patchy Mix, because I think he's a very good fighter. I think he's deserving to be a ranked fighter in the bantamweight division here, but I think Mario Bautista has the edge in the striking and can defend the takedowns. So Patchy Mix will be a little bit taller and a little bit longer, 5'11" to 5'9", has a slight reach advantage. I like the gym Mario Bautista's training out of. Patchy Mix has great top control. I imagine that maybe at some point Mario Bautista may get taken down, but the control, like, Patchy Mix is more of like a submission over position guy, and I think Mario Bautista has pretty good scrambles. So if it comes to that point where if he does get taken down, like, I don't think it'll last long. I think he'll be able to get back up, and if Patchy Mix goes for a submission too quick or something like that, Mario Bautista's dude's solid. Okay, so, and he's an underdog. Plus 145, so they're counting another one of my boys out. You know what I mean? So we're not doing this again. Mario Bautista is the pick. I got Mario Bautista by decision. Okay, I don't see him knocking out Patchy Mix. I don't see him submitting Patchy Mix, even though that would be freaking crazy. But yeah, Mario Bautista is my pick. Give me the underdog. All right, what do the people on Tapology have to say about this one? Wowzers. So 85% of people are picking Patchy Mixed. Most say by submission or decision. 15% of people are picking Mario Bautista. Most say by decision. So, count my boy out. People are showing more love to Vicente Luque than Mario Bautista. Now I get it. Mario Bautista is not everybody's favorite fighter, right? And he's not mine either. I gave you a little when I freaking picked him, because he's not my favorite style either. But I think he just has the edges over Patchy to get this done. So, all right. Next fight, we have Bruno Silva, Bulldog, versus Joshua Van, the Fearless. Odds on the fight, plus 410 for Bruno Silva and minus 550 for Joshua Van. My pick for this fight is Joshua Van. Give me my boy Joshua Van. I've never picked against him, okay? Young kid, 23 years old. Showing improvements every single fight. Super active. Great striking. Quick. Powerful. Amazing takedown defense. If he does get taken down, his get-up game's pretty good. He can scramble pretty well. He's a dog, man. Great cardio. Moves forward at all times, usually pressuring. Now, I think the odds are a little wide, right? I think I could see Joshua Van as like a minus 300 favor over Bruno Silva. I think they're giving Bruno Silva a lot of grief from his last loss to Manel Kape, where he just got whooped, to be honest with you, right? He just got whooped. But prior to that, dude was on a roll, man. KO'd Cody Durden. Now, that was a comeback win, right? Cody Durden was beating the crap out of him up until he, it's like you're winning until you're not. And at the end of the day, he did win the fight. So, but shows flaws in your game. Tyson non-submission, nothing to brag about. Victor Rodriguez KO, nothing to brag about. JP buys KO, nothing to brag about. So his best win there is Cody Durden, where it was a pretty solid comeback win. I'll give him that. But comes up to the elites of the elites. Manel Kape, Bruno Silva gets taken out. I put Joshua Van up there on the level of Manel Kape, man. Joshua Van is damn good, dude. I think he gets it done by decision. He's usually a decisionator type of guy. I think over time, give him a couple of years, he'll develop a little more power and be able to finish these guys. But he's on the way up, dude. Bruno Silva doesn't really have the best aura or momentum coming off of that loss here. And even though Joshua Van lost to Charles Johnson, dude, he won the first 2 rounds. And I say this over and over and over again. That was a very early stoppage. And dang, that was only 10 months ago. You know what I mean? So my dude's out here fighting and fighting and fighting. This is his biggest step up in competition here. He beat Cody Durden by decision. Felipe Bunes, he beat by KO. So it's like Bruno Silva. And look, let me talk Bruno Silva for a second, right? Dude's very hittable. Joshua Van's going to piece him up. He is tough. And he can hit hard himself. You'll see Joshua Van have to eat some shots here, but Joshua Van works it to the body, to the head, mixes in leg kicks. He's very slick and clean with it. He has a submission threat, right? But I think the win over Felipe Bunes aged him pretty well and showing that he can avoid any sort of submission threats and get out of those situations. Bruno Silva can get ragdolled and handled on the ground, but that's not really Joshua Van's game. He has decent volume. Bruno Silva throws a lot, but he hates getting overwhelmed, and Joshua Van will overwhelm him. And he can get caught looking, just like you saw with Manel Kopp. It's just like he doesn't even know what to do at this point because things are coming everywhere. But he's, his name's Bulldog for a reason, right? He is tough. He was ranked at some point, so give him credit for that. I just think that Joshua Van's on another level, man. He is one of the elites, in my opinion. He is on his way up. Give me Joshua Van. Give me Joshua Van by decision. And I bet you, dang near everybody on Tapology is with me there too. Let's see what they say. Wow, 95% of people are picking Joshua Van. Most say by decision. 5% of people are picking Bruno Silva. So I imagine the odds are going to get wider and wider. Man, this is the biggest favorite he's ever been. Minus 550. So people are all finally seeing and realizing and hopping on the Joshua Van train. But I've been on it. Okay, I got receipts in all my freaking picks videos, so you'll see him. So Joshua Van's a pick. All right. The next fight here, we have Ariane Lipski da Silva, the Queen of Violence, versus Cong Wang, the Joker. Odds in the fight, we have plus 275 for Da Silva and minus 345 for Cong Wang. My pick for this fight is going to be the Joker. Give me Cong Wang, okay? I mean, we've seen her KO power. It's insane. She's a great striker. She's an amazing kickboxer, the better kickboxer versus Ariane Lipski. Now, she did get exposed by Fernandez with the submission. She got a little cocky, right? And I like a look. I love the swagger. I love the confidence. I love her little play with the Joker, with the face paint and all that. Like, she really puts on a show with it. And I think she continues to shine and gets it taken care of and done versus Ariane da Silva. Now, Ariane da Silva, she's 7-10, coming off of 2 losses here versus Jasmine Jastovicius, who's on a roll and looked damn good, okay? Then Karine Silva, who's a dang good fighter too, but her wins are coming against, mid-level competition here, which I think Wang Cong would definitely handle JJ Aldrich, Melissa Gatto, and Casey O'Neill in their own right. So, but I think the aura and the momentum Wang Cong has right now, I think the Joker will get it done. She can avoid any sort of takedowns and wrestling and grappling a threat, and keep this fight standing. That's where she needs to keep it. Avoid things on the fence unless she's the one holding people against the fence. Dude, it's Cong Wang all day. Now, Ariane da Silva has more UFC. She has more UFC experience. Her striking is okay, but not to the level of Cong Wang's. I mean, her up-close boxing in particular, I think that's pretty nice. So she has nice kicks. She's okay in the clinch. Obviously, she's better on the ground, right? Cong Wang has no ground game whatsoever. So if Ariane is going to win this fight or make it close, she needs to grapple. She needs to hold on and get a hold of Wang, take her to the ground. I think trips or getting her to the fence are going to be her best way to get her onto the ground. But and look, like De Silva was ranked at one point too. You know what I mean? But man, she's just outmatched on the feet. And if she tries to make it a kickboxing affair, she's going to have a tough night. So my pick is Wang Wang. I really don't know what order it is. But I got her by decision. I think Lipsky's tough. So Wang's so quick and slick and clean with her striking too. She's nice. What do the people on Tapology have to say? All right, 87% of people are picking Wang, most say by decision. 13% of people are picking De Silva, and most say by decision there as well. So this fight's anticipated to go the distance. I agree. Again, De Silva's tough and was ranked at one point. Fought some pretty good competition. Went all three with a Korean Silva. Jasmine got her with a choke, but Wang ain't gonna do that, you know. So yeah, Wang and confidence. Let's move on. All right, next fight here we have Serghei Spivac, the polar bear, versus Waldo Cortes-Acosta, Salsa Boy. Odds on the fight, we have minus 130 for the polar bear there, and plus 110 for Salsa Boy. My pick for this fight is going to be Serghei Spivac. Give me the polar bear here. Man, I keep picking against Waldo Cortes-Acosta, and as you can see here, he keeps rattling off wins. So here we are again. And I said last time, he's never seen the kind of wrestling threat of Ryan Spann. Well, that was Ryan Spann's first fight at heavyweight, and he looked awful. So, but I will say this. Waldo Cortes-Acosta has never seen the wrestling threat that Serghei Spivac, the polar bear, brings. Okay? And he is a heavyweight. He's a proven heavyweight and a proven grappler at this division. So, can Waldo Cortes not withstand takedowns, right? It's just like these people, other than Ryan Spann, they're not going for takedowns. Rebellis to Spain? No. Andrei Arlovsky? No. Lucas Brzeski? No. Marcos Rogerio did attempt some takedowns, but he was at 41 years old, dude. This guy was super old at that point. That was his only, loss in his career. And he got exposed and walked down. Now, this is a striking affair here. I'm going to have to say Waldo Cortes has the better striker, has the better boxing, and shown he does have KO power. It's just his ground game has not been tested, right? We're going to see it here. Serghei Spivac is definitely going to look to grapple and take him down, for sure. Get him up against the fence. He has a big octagon here to work with so that's something to keep in mind too. The ground and pound's nasty from Spivac. His subs are live. I mean, Spivac's only losing to elites, guys. You want to look at his losses? Jailton Amida, Cyril Gain, Tom Aspinall, Marcin Tybura, and then Walt Harris. I guess that's his, worst loss. But all those other guys, top contenders in the heavyweight division, guys. So, I think Spivac's going to have a little resurgence here and hold his spot in the top 10, right? I think he has the better grappling. I think he gets it done by submission. I think he's going to get this done easy. Waldo Cortes has just not seen the wrestling or grappling threat that Spivac brings at heavyweight here. He just hasn't, dude. It's coming, man. In the ground, he's choking out Derek Lewis, who is a KO monster. I mean, come on now. So, and he took him down easy. You're going to tell me that Waldo Cortes-Acosta is not going to get taken out with these? Dude, Spivac by submission, dude. I see it. So, that's all I have to say, man. Bad matchup for Waldo. Serghei Spivac was supposed to fight Shamil Gaziev. Gosh, that probably would have been bad. Now he has Waldo Cortes-Acosta. A much favorable matchup for Serghei Spivac here. So Spivac by submission is my pick. What do the people on Tapology have to say? 67% of people are picking Spivac. Most say by submission, like I just said. 33% of people are picking Waldo Cortes. They're still on the train there. Most say by knockout. So it's going to be a good heavyweight fight and something meaningful for the rankings. So I'm glad to have it on a pay-per-view and on the main card. Let's go. All right, next fight we have Ju Sang Yu versus Jeka Saragih. Odds in the fight, we have minus 485 for Ju Sang Yu and plus 370 for Jeka Saragih. Yeah. My pick for this fight is going to be Jeka Saragih. Give me the underdog. Yo, this guy has been in some wars. He is tough. He does not look the most athletic at all, but he throws hard, man. And yes, he's a road to the UFC guy, which is, they aren't my favorite. They really aren't. Like, the people that are coming out of the road to UFC, minus a couple, really haven't, shocked me or looked to me the most impressive. But he just always comes out of these tough situations and ends up getting wins. And he's gone up against people that have looked athletic and explosive, just like Ju Sang Yu has. But he's withstood the damage and just, dude, his KOs are nasty, man. Like, this Lucas Alexander one was nasty. This Juan B. Key one was nasty. Like, oh, the spinning back. Oh, these wins are pretty dang good, man. Losing to Anshul Jubilee, meh. Losing to Weston Wilson by submission, also not a good look. I know it's a crazy call, but I don't know, Ju Sang Yu, yes, he's athletic and explosive. His KO power is nasty. He has this kind of sniper-esque movement and distance at times. He has decent chop control when he gets people down. He's this South Korean prospect. He has a short MMA career though, right? It just started. He's only 8-0. I mean, gosh, I think he's only been fighting for freaking 4 years, dude. Started the pros in 2021, right? So he's only been fighting pro for 4 years. Jeka Saragih's been there, done that, man. Taking fights. He's a dog. I think they're just counting him out because of his build and his, the Weston Wilson loss is not a good look, dude, at all. Weston Wilson's trash. The Anshul Jubilee loss, also really not the best look either, but, he knocked out Lucas Alexander, right? I just think, he's gone up against these, super athletic, explosive guys, right? They may win a round and a half, 2 rounds, but he ends up pulling out. He still has the power at all times, and he can smack, dude. Don't sleep on Jeka Saragih. And nevertheless, whatever happens, right, even though he's my pick, this is going to be a very entertaining fight, no matter how long it goes. But I got Jeka Saragih by KO. Oh my gosh. 94% of people on Tapology are picking Ju Sang Yu. 6% of people are picking Jeka Saragih. Both sides saying by knockout. So maybe a fight that's... But look, when everyone says it's going to go by knockout, shit always goes a distance. We saw it in the Zach Reese and the Dusko Todorovic fight last week. You know what I mean? So... But if everyone's on Ju Sang Yu, then why is he only a minus 485? I believe the odds have been coming down on Ju Sang Yu too, and Jeka Saragih is becoming a more popular underdog. So, kind of going out on a limb here. Kind of a crazy call, but we saw, just bringing up examples from last week, we saw Ramiz Brahim. Few people were on him, comes out with an underdog win. So, Jeka Saragih by KO is my call. So, we continue. All right, we got Azamat Murzakanov, the professional, versus Brendson Ribeiro, the gorilla. Odds on the fight, we have minus 550 for Azamat and plus 410 for Brendson Ribeiro. My pick for this fight is going to be Azamat Murzakanov. I think he gets this done easy. I got Azamat Murzakanov by knockout, dude. He is powerful. He has great striking. Honestly, he's fought way better people here than Brendson Ribeiro. Alonzo Menafield, Dustin Jacoby, Devin Clark, Tafon Nchukui. Like, Brendson Ribeiro ain't fighting the level of competition Azamat has, and Azamat's handling these people, dude. The Dayar Nurgaje win? Okay. Impressive. But, however, you're getting your ass whooped up until that point, and Dayar Nurgaje was just made a stupid mistake. So, I don't know if I can really give you credit. You capitalized on the mistake, so credit to you there, but Azamat's not going to make mistakes like that. You went split decision with Kai Machado. You're losing to Magomed Ghaziazulov. You're losing to Zhang Mingyang. Oh, you knocked out Bruno Lopez? Well, we saw Dustin Jacoby handle him in the first round easy. You know what I mean? So, and Azamat handled Dustin Jacoby. Beat him up for 3 rounds. Look, man. Azamat, even though has a terrible disadvantage in the reach, 81 inches to 71 inches, and is going to be a much shorter. He's going to close distance easy. He's done it with everybody in his fights. Most people have the reach and the height advantage over him. And Brendson Ribeiro doesn't really use his reach advantage to his favor, right? Brendson Ribeiro is chinny as hell. His wins are lucky or really just unimpressive. He has bad cardio. He's super hittable. I mean, his UFC career run, like I just went over, really just isn't that good. I mean, he has some sort of grappling, but doesn't really use it. I think Azamat takes this easy, guys. He's fighting down competition at this point. He's a ranked fighter. Like, what are we doing here? This was a short notice replacement. I get it. Azamat was supposed to be fighting Johnny Walker. Either way, one of those Brazilians was going to get knocked out. So, Azamat Murzakanov is my pick, and I got him by KO. What do the people on Tapology have to say? Holy moly, 95% of people are picking Murzakanov, most say by KO. 5% of people are picking Brendson Ribeiro. All right. I do anticipate Azamat winning here with ease. So, we move on to the next one. All right. We got Quillan Salkilld versus Yanal Ashmouz, the Red Fox. Odds on the fight, we have minus 485 for Quillan Salkilld and plus 370 for Yanal. My pick for this fight is going to be Quillan Salkilld. I think he gets this done by decision. So, I think this fight is a similar fight to the fight he had with Gage Young. A smaller, tougher fighter with KO power. Who can mix in the grappling but don't really use it too much. Ashmouz, yeah, Chris Duncan went to town on him, right? But he's shown with this fight with Sam Patterson that he can find success with people that are taller than him. Man, he knocked the crap out of Sam Patterson and it looked great. But ever since then, yes, he has a win over Trevor Peek, but I think Quillan Salkilld, with his reach advantage, which he does actually use to his benefit. He's taller, he has great kicks, he works the body very well. He's tough, he's young at 25 years old. He can mix in the wrestling if he chooses to. I think Yanal Ashmouz has a pretty stout, solid base. I don't know if Quillan will be able to necessarily take him down, but definitely be able to hold him against the fence at least. And get some clinch work in, has some nice knees, and some good body work on the clinch too. Throw some elbows in. I mean, Quillan Salkilld can throw heavy too. I mean, if you guys saw the knockout with Anshul Jubli, yes, I would say it was an early stoppage, but he knocked him down and knocked his. I mean, it was a nasty KO, right? Again, I think it was a little early, but. And then shows grit and toughness and shows his cardio with a 3-round tough fight with Gage Young. And Gage Young just went 3 rounds with Evan Elder. Right? So, again, it's not a direct comp, but pretty similar to Ashmus, right? So I think Quillan will mix in more volume. We'll use the reach advantage to his advantage. Clinch on the fence. Again, keep distance. Maybe even get a takedown or two at the end, maybe in the second or third round. Ashmus will find success, right? He is powerful. He'll probably land a couple shots here and there. I think he'll be frustrated at times. He'll get his leg chopped out by Quillan. That big beard does help him eat shots. Surprisingly. So he has bad distance management, does. So he also needs more volume. He just relies on these heavy, like kind of lunging shots and these looping overhands that may or may not hit. So I got Quillan Salkilld. All right, give me the Australian prospect to get another solid win here. Just fought a few months ago. I like the activity. Keep it up, okay? I like you fighting every 3 months. That's what I like to see out of fighters. So Quillan Salkilld by decision is my pick. It's tough. Chris Duncan is a pretty solid fighter in my opinion. One of my favorite fighters here in the lightweight division. So to not get finished by him, it's pretty solid. 89% of people on Tapology are picking Quillan Salkilld, most say by decision. 11% of people are picking Ashmus, most say by decision on that part. Okay, fight favored, go the distance. So I think minus 485 for Quillan Salkilld is a little crazy. Maybe a minus 200 favorite, right? I think some of the odds in these fights, yeah, these fighters are probably going to win, but they're really stretching the odds on them. So plus 370 for you never know. If he's plus 370 for that, the KO number might be pretty dang good. Something to look at. So some dogs may be barking. You never know. We're moving on. All right. Next fight here. We have Markel Medeiros versus Mark Choinsky, the Shark. Odds on the fight minus 298 for Markel Medeiros and plus 240 for the Shark, Mark. My pick for this fight is going to be Markel Medeiros. Okay? Give me Markel Medeiros to hand Mark his first loss on his professional career. Markel Medeiros was supposed to fight last week. Okay? And Andreas Gustafsson was also supposed to fight last week as well, and I guess this is my first time to say, I've never broken down two of the same fighters 2 weeks in a row due to crazy cancel fight reasons. I don't think that's ever happened, but anywho, Markel Medeiros was supposed to fight last week versus Balaji, which I think he would have handled him, but I think he got sick or something. But my dude's training out of Colorado, which I love. Training at elevation there. He has very good movement. He dances kind of around the octagon and goes in and out with his shots, which I love. He is hittable at times, can be overwhelmed at times, but overall, he's a pretty solid striker on the feet. Has pretty solid cardio as well. He does win, but barely. Split decision over Hubbard. Landon Keano's fight was close. He got a nasty knee KO in the Dana White Contender Series. I will give him that. His takedown defense is okay, but he can get taken down at times. And Mark the Shark's path to victory is takedowns. Okay, most of his wins are by submission. That is his game. All right, get the fight to the mat. That is where he wants this fight. So, honestly, Markel Medeiros, you need to use that distance management. You need to dance around the octagon. You need to keep space. You need to be able to defend the takedowns because this guy is looking for submissions, man. His striking is okay. Okay, if this is a straight-up striking fight, though, Markel Medeiros definitely has the edge, will land the better and cleaner shots, and will come out with the win. Maybe even a KO win, to be honest with you. He might be able to find a shot like that because Mark Choinsky is kind of, I don't know, in my opinion, a little raw on the striking, okay? But he is much more experienced and better on the mat. Dude can get takedowns with ease. His leg is going to get chopped up. Okay, he leaves it out there to get chopped up. Markel Medeiros is definitely going to take advantage of that. Decent gym, dude. This Rufo Sport MMA Academy has a decent gym. A lot of pretty solid fighters there's actually. So Um, you know, minus 298 for Markel, plus 240 for Mark. I think the odds are a little wide. Yeah, I know it's Mark's UFC debut on very short notice, but he really he relies on takedowns, and when a fighter relies on that, it's go either way. You get him, you do good. You don't get him, you do bad. So Mark is hittable. He can get picked apart and will get picked apart. I think Markel will be able to withstand any of the takedowns. If he does get taken down, I think he's going to be able to get back up and withstand any sort of submission threats. We saw with Austin Hubbard, he has pretty solid defense on the ground, and there was really no damage that Austin Hubbard did. It was kind of like a praying leg, not a praying leg kind of thing, but like a tired takedown where he really didn't do much with it, right? And Markel Medeiros, right when we got back up to his feet, was landing the bigger and heavier shots. So I got Medeiros. I got him by, I really want to say KO. I do. I want to say like a second or third round KO coming from Markel Medeiros, dude. I think he puts on here. Now he's on a pay-per-view card rather than the Apex card. Things worked out in his favor. So, Markel Medeiros by KO. That's my call. But the D-Gen call for this fight would be Chewinski by submission. 93% of people picking Medeiros. Most say by decision. 8% of people are picking Chewinski, and everybody says by decision. That's crazy. They think they're not going to submit Markel Medeiros. I agree. But it would be a degenerate call. I got to see what the number is. But you can check that out in the betting video. Okay? So, let's move on. All right, the first fight of the night, kicking things off, and I will say they're kicking it off with a bang here. We got Chaos Williams, the Ox Fighter, versus Andreas Gustafsson, Bane. Odds on the fight, minus 218 currently for Chaos Williams and plus 180 for Andreas Gustafsson. My pick for this fight is going to be Chaos Williams. I mean, I picked Trevin Giles to beat Andreas Gustafsson last week. You think I'm not going to pick Chaos Williams to beat him? Yo, Chaos Williams is a mean, mugging, mad, tough, pit bull dog fighter. Okay? You think he's going to get overwhelmed and succumbed by Andreas Gustafsson? No. Okay? And that's Andreas Gustafsson's game. Constant, insane pressure, hold people on the fence, clinch, go to work. I think he kind of has like a Bogdan Guskov-esque style Andreas Gustafsson does, right? It's just his game is like clinch you and hold you and go to work with elbows and dirty boxing, right? But Chaos Williams does get held up on the fence. He'll be able to flip it. Chaos Williams is the pressuring fighter at all times. Like, he's a pit bull, man. Yes, he's hittable at times, but the power Chaos Williams possesses, he is knocking people the F out. Dude, I think Andreas Gustafsson with his brawler, like, reckless type style is gonna not be well, bid him well in this fight here, dude. I think Chaos Williams is gonna find the shot. I think Andreas Gustafsson is gonna come in recklessly, and Chaos Williams is gonna find that shot, dude. He has Jamal Hill coaching him in this corner. Now you can go either way about that, but Jamal Hill is a top-ranked fighter, whether you like him or not. So it's nice to have somebody like that in your corner and coaching you. Yes, I know Chaos Williams can get rocked in times, but and eat heavy shots. But he has like nice feints and fakes. I think he's gonna be able to hold distance and walk down Andreas Gustafsson. Andreas Gustafsson did beat Christian Leroy Duncan in the amateurs. He's just like in love with the fence. I think the larger octagon and a much better opponent are not going to do him well at all. So I got Chaos Williams. I got Chaos Williams by knockout, dude. I think he gets back on track here after his kind of embarrassing loss versus Gabriel Bonfim, which Bonfim's on another level, man. He's obviously the better of the brothers, and dang, he is flying and soaring. Knocks Carlston Harrison the F out a year ago. Tough split decision over Rolando Bedoya and Randy Brown. I think he pretty handedly beat Bedoya. The Randy Brown fight really could have gone either way, but you're going 3 rounds and split with a top-ranked contender. And then knocks Miguel Bezea the F out. Again, Andreas Gustafsson, like the people that he's fighting in his professional career, their records are not very good, guys. At all. Okay? 3-5, 0-0, 18-17, 7-4. He fought a guy who's 26-80. Holy moly. 10-2, 4-3, 6-4, 8-3, 37-10, 13-10. Like, he's not fighting the level of competition KS Williams is here. So, I would say proven UFC vet, KO power, aggressiveness. I lean all KS Williams. KS Williams by knockout, guys. That's my pick. 73% of people on Tapology are picking KS Williams. Most say by KO. 28% of people are picking Andreas Gustafsson. Most say by KO. So, fight not to go the distance may be a good look. Oh, man. I mean, Andreas Gustafsson is moving on to a pay-per-view, right, on a UFC 316 card, so that's more beneficial for him. So the UFC throwing him a bone there, but not throwing him a bone with his opponent. Chaos Williams, man, about to put on, in my opinion. So, by knockout. Oh, man. This is a great fight to start the card off. So, Chaos Williams was supposed to fight like 3 people. Uros Medic most recently, and then this Tadavosian who failed physicals probably was like, taking some stuff he shouldn't. You know what I mean? If you get my drift. So, all right, guys. That is the UFC 316 breakdown. We made a pick-em prediction for every single fight on the card. If you have made it this far, thank you so much. Appreciate your support. Click that subscribe button if you haven't. We are on the path to 300. Patreon's free. Links in the description. Go check that out. That's where I put all my bets in when I place them. The bets video comes out on Wednesdays, so make sure to check that out. Let's have a good week here, guys, okay? UFC Vegas 107 fell the heck apart. I hope nothing crazy happens with UFC 316. I'm excited for a lot of these fights. There's only a few where I'm like, but most of them are bangers. So, Young Pasty, out. Let's go.